Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of your own potential. But something invisible holds you back. What if I told you that the secret to unlocking your true strength isn't found in chasing fleeting pleasures or dodging life's punches, but in embracing the very struggles that scare you? Most people today aren't failing because they lack skill or opportunity. No, they're quietly surrendering to a life of comfort that numbs their fire, leaving them stuck in a cycle of comparison, envy, and exhaustion. Sound familiar? If you're nodding, keep watching. This isn't just another video. This is your wake-up call to stop scrolling, start acting, and take control of your mind in a world designed to distract you. We live in an age where endless notifications, curated feeds, and instant gratification pull us away from our purpose. We scroll through other people's highlight reels, wondering why our own lives feel so heavy. We chase comfort, yet we're drained. We dodge pain, yet we suffer. Why? Because we've forgotten a truth the ancient Stoics mastered centuries ago. Real strength isn't built in ease, it's forged in the fire of hardship. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who faced wars, betrayal, and plague, didn't crumble under pressure. Instead, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Let that sink in. That's not just wisdom. It's a battle cry for anyone ready to rise above chaos. In this video, we're diving into 8 brutal Stoic laws that will rewire your mind, toughen your spirit, and push you to become the version of yourself you've always sensed you could be. These aren't fluffy motivational quotes or feel-good platitudes. These are raw, battle-tested principles that have guided emperors, warriors, and thinkers through the darkest of times, and they're just as powerful today. Whether you're stuck in a rut, overwhelmed by stress, or just hungry for growth, these laws will challenge you to level up in ways you never imagined. But here's the deal. This video isn't background noise for your lunch break. It's a call to action. So, hit that like button right now to lock in your commitment. Drop a comment as we go. Tell me which law hits you hardest. Share this with someone who needs a reality check. And most importantly, don't skip a single second. Because missing even one of these laws could mean missing the clarity or courage you need for your next big moment. Let's dive into the first law. Embrace discomfort like a friend. Picture this. You're curled up on the couch, scrolling through your phone, avoiding that tough conversation, that early workout, or that project you've been putting off. Society screams, stay comfortable, avoid pain at all costs. But the Stoics? They laughed in the face of that lie. They knew that running from discomfort only makes you weaker, while leaning into it builds a kind of strength no one can take away. Think about it. When was the last time you grew, really grew, while everything was easy? Was it during a Netflix binge? Or was it when life threw you into the deep end, and you had to swim or sink? Marcus Aurelius, who led an empire through chaos, didn't shy away from pain. He welcomed it as a teacher. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Let that hit you. Every obstacle you face, every rejection, every delay, every moment of doubt, isn't a roadblock. It's the path to becoming unbreakable. That tough conversation you've been avoiding? It's a chance to sharpen your courage. That grueling workout when you're bone tired? It's carving your discipline. That moment of boredom you fill with mindless scrolling? It's an opportunity to master your focus. The Stoics didn't just preach this, they lived it. Seneca, another Stoic heavyweight, would sleep on the floor, eat plain bread, and wear tattered clothes, not because he hated himself, but because he was training himself. Why? So when life inevitably stripped away his comforts, he wouldn't flinch. He was ready. And here's the kicker. Discomfort isn't your enemy. It's your mirror. It shows you who you are when the masks come off. It reveals the gaps in your resilience and dares you to close them. Avoid discomfort today, and you set yourself up for bigger pain tomorrow. But lean into it. Take that cold shower. Have that hard talk. Sit with your thoughts instead of reaching for your phone, and something incredible happens. You stop fearing the struggle. You start craving it, because in that fire, you find freedom. So, what's one small discomfort you can choose today? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier to journal. Maybe it's saying no to that extra hour of scrolling. Maybe it's facing a fear you've been dodging for too long. Whatever it is, See it as your sparring partner. It might sting, it might bruise, but it's building you into someone who can handle anything life throws. The Stoics knew that controlled discomfort prepares you for uncontrolled chaos. When the storm comes, and it will, you won't just survive. You'll thrive. Stay locked in, because we're just getting started. 7 more laws are coming, each one a tool to forge a stronger, wiser, more resilient you. Keep watching, keep engaging, and let's build something unstoppable together. YouTube script page 2 to 8 Brutal Stoic Laws to Transform Your Life, continued. Last time, we kicked things off by embracing discomfort as the ultimate forge for your inner warrior. Now, let's keep that fire burning as we dive into the next Stoic laws that will sharpen your mind and soul. Ready to stop running and start rising? Let's go. Law number 2. Stop being owned by your emotions. Picture this. You're cruising through your day, feeling on top of the world, when someone cuts you off in traffic. Suddenly, your blood boils, and your whole mood flips. Or maybe a coworker's snarky comment sends you spiraling, or a canceled plan ruins your vibe. Sound familiar? We've all been there, letting our emotions hijack our peace like an uninvited guest crashing a party. But here's the brutal Stoic truth. If your emotions run the show, you're not in control, they are. And as Epictetus, a former slave turned Stoic master, once said, any person capable of angering you becomes your master. Ouch. That stings because it's true. Every time you let a rude comment, a rejection, or a bad day dictate your state of mind, you're handing over your power on a silver platter. The Stoics didn't believe in ignoring emotions. Emotions are human, raw, real, but they taught us to observe them like clouds passing in the sky, not to let them steer the ship. Imagine this. A child throws a tantrum when things don't go their way, kicking and screaming. A Stoic? They sit in the middle of the storm, calm, clear, and deliberate. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man of his time, scribbled in his journal, now known as Meditations, these piercing words: if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Read that again. The pain isn't the rude comment or the breakup, it's how you choose to see it. That's the kind of power we rarely tap into. The kind that lets you stay unshaken when the world tries to knock you down. This isn't about becoming a robot or pretending you don't feel. It's about choosing how you respond next time you feel that spark of anger or that wave of sadness. Try this. Pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this feeling serving me right now? Then act with intention, not impulse. That's not weakness, it's strength. It's the difference between being a puppet pulled by every emotional string and being the master of your own mind. When you stop letting your emotions own you, you show up differently, calm, grounded, magnetic, in a world where people are tossed around by every little trigger. That kind of stability? It's rare, it's powerful, it's unstoppable. So, drop this in the comments to lock it in. My emotions don't own me, I do. Law number 3. Stop expecting fairness. Let's get real for a second. How many times have you poured your heart into something, only to watch someone less deserving snag the reward? Maybe you worked overtime for that promotion, but the office slacker got it. Maybe you loved someone with everything you had, only for them to walk away. Or maybe you did the right thing, played by the rules, and still got burned. The anger creeps in, doesn't it? This isn't fair, you think, as if life signed a contract to play nice. Here's the Stoic gut punch. Fairness is a story we tell ourselves, not a law of the universe. Marcus Aurelius, who saw betrayal and injustice daily as emperor, wrote, "You can commit injustice by doing nothing." He didn't waste energy whining about how unfair life was. Instead, he focused on what he could control: his response, his strength, his purpose. The Stoics never expected life to roll out a red carpet. They expected pain, loss, betrayal, and chaos, not because they were pessimists, but because they were realists. And here's the magic of that mindset. When you stop expecting fairness, you stop being shocked by life's curveballs. You're ready for them. Think about it. When you brace for the storm, it can't knock you over. That coworker who stole credit for your work, that's not about fairness, it's about your chance to practice resilience. That heartbreak that left you raw, it's not about what you deserved, It's about what you can build from the ashes. Life owes you nothing, but it gives you something better, the opportunity to grow stronger with every hit you take. So, let go of the fantasy that life should be fair. It's not, and that's okay. The Stoics knew that real strength comes from facing reality head on. Not wishing it was different. When you stop chasing fairness, you start chasing growth, and that's where the real power lies. Keep watching, because the next laws are about to take this even deeper. Drop a comment, tell me, which of these truths is hitting you hardest right now? YouTube script page 3 to 8 Brutal Stoic Laws to Transform Your Life, continued. We've just shattered the myth of fairness, learning to harness reality's raw challenges as fuel for growth. Now, let's dive deeper into the Stoic playbook to build a mind so resilient that no storm can shake it. Ready to take control and forge an unbreakable will? Let's roll. Picture yourself standing in the middle of life's arena, where the crowd roars and the odds seem stacked against you. You've worked tirelessly, poured your heart into your craft, only to see someone less dedicated steal the spotlight. Or maybe you've loved with every fiber of your being, only to be met with betrayal. That burning cry of, "This isn't fair," rises in your chest. Sound familiar? It's human to want justice, to crave a world where effort equals reward. But here's the Stoic wake-up call. Clinging to fairness is like clinging to a rope that's slipping through your hands. It only leaves you raw and weak. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher who faced exile and loss, said it best. Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. When life feels unfair, just breathing through it can be a victory. The Stoics didn't waste energy raging against life's unpredictability. They saw it for what it is, a wild, untamed force that doesn't follow your script. Good people suffer, lazy people win. Hard work doesn't always pay off the way you expect. That's not pessimism, it's reality. And here's what separates the average from the unstoppable. The average person sulks, waiting for the world to right its wrongs. The Stoic? They build a fortress within, so strong that no injustice can crack it. This isn't about shutting off your heart or turning cold. It's about refusing to let the world's chaos dictate your worth. Instead of complaining, you channel that pain into fuel. You hone skills so sharp they demand respect. You love fiercely without expecting reciprocation. You face betrayal and walk away with your head high, dignity intact. This Stoic approach is radical responsibility, not because everything's your fault, but because every moment is your move. Life will hit you hard, that's a given. But how you respond, that's your power. Imagine a warrior on the battlefield. Arrows flying, chaos everywhere. They don't curse the enemy, they swing their sword with precision. That's you, choosing calm over chaos, action over excuses. Fairness isn't guaranteed, but freedom is earned, one deliberate choice at a time. So, ask yourself, are you ready to stop waiting for the world to play fair and start building a strength that no injustice can touch? Law number 4. Focus on what you can control. Let go of the rest. Imagine you're caught in a raging storm at sea. Waves crashing, wind howling. Most people scream at the storm, begging it to stop. The Stoic? They grab the wheel and steer. That's the essence of this law, rooted in Epictetus's timeless wisdom. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Sounds simple, right? But here's where most of us trip. We waste energy trying to control the uncontrollable, other people's opinions. The economy, the weather, the future. We obsess over what others think, stress over outcomes we can't predict, and then wonder why we're anxious, angry, or drained. Want to know the secret to unshakable calm? It's laser focusing on what's actually in your hands. Let's break it down. What can you truly control? Your thoughts, your actions, your choices, your response to life's curveballs. Everything else, other people's words, random chance, global events, those are outside your circle of power. You can't make someone like you, but you can decide how you treat them. You can't control the market, but you can control how you learn, save, or adapt. This shift in focus is like flipping a switch in your mind. Suddenly, you're not a victim of the storm, you're the captain of your ship. Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's not just a quote, it's a lifeline. Here's a practical move. Next time stress creeps in, pause and ask, Is this within my control? If it is, act with intention. If it isn't, let it go. Sounds easy, but it's not. It's brutal because it forces you to stop blaming the world and start owning your response. But it's also liberating. When you stop wrestling with things you can't change, you reclaim your energy. You become focused when others complain, calm when others panic, disciplined when others drift, in a world where people are pulled in 100 directions by worries they can't fix. This kind of clarity is magnetic. It's power. It's freedom. Drop this in the comments to commit. I control what I can. And I let go of the rest. Stay with me. The next law is about forging an unbreakable will through voluntary hardship. It's intense, and it's coming up next. Which of these laws is hitting you hardest? Let me know in the comments. We've just unlocked the power of focusing on what we can control, letting go of the rest to stand unshaken in life's storms. Now, let's push further, forging a will so strong it thrives in hardship and a mind that finds freedom in the process. Not the prize. Ready to level up? Let's dive in. Law number 5. Practice voluntary hardship to build unbreakable will. Imagine a warrior training in the quiet before the battle, not because they love pain, but because they know it's coming. That's the Stoic way, choosing discomfort deliberately to sharpen your mind and soul. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher who faced exile and loss, wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, is this the condition I feared?" This wasn't self-punishment, it was self-preparation. In a world obsessed with comfort, endless streaming, instant food, cozy routines, the Stoics dared to be different. They trained for the hard days so that when life hit, they wouldn't just survive, they'd thrive. Think about it. When was the last time you skipped a meal, sat in silence, or pushed through exhaustion without reaching for a distraction? Most of us avoid discomfort like it's the enemy. But what happens when life strips away the safety net? A missed paycheck, a health scare, a broken relationship. Suddenly, the world feels like it's crumbling. And we panic. Why? Because we're not ready. The Stoics, though, they were ready. They practiced hunger, fatigue, even rejection, not to suffer, but to adapt. They knew willpower isn't built by watching inspiring videos or wishing for strength. It's forged by doing the hard thing on purpose. Picture this. You choose to fast for a day, not because you're forced to, but to prove to yourself you control your urges. Or you take a cold shower, feeling every icy drop, and realize your mind can override your body's complaints. These small acts stack up, building a resilience that's dangerous, not to others, but to the chaos that tries to break you. Marcus Aurelius, who led an empire through plagues and wars, stayed calm because hardship wasn't a surprise, it was his training ground. He expected it, embraced it, and turned it into strength. So, flip the script. Instead of asking, how can I make life easier? Ask, how can I make myself stronger? Try this today. Skip one comfort. Take a cold shower. Wake up an hour earlier to work on your goals. Say no to that extra hour of scrolling. Feel the resistance, then push through it. When you do, you'll realize hardship doesn't have to paralyze you, it can empower you. Drop this in the comments to lock it in. I choose hardship to build my strength. Law number 6. Detach from outcomes. Fall in love with the process. Picture yourself chasing a dream. Maybe it's landing a dream job, hitting a fitness goal, or building a business. You pour your heart into it, eyes locked on the prize. But what happens when the job goes to someone else? The scale doesn't budge, or the project flops? Most of us crash hard. We feel like failures, worthless, defeated. Why? Because we've been taught to obsess over results, the promotion, the money, the applause. The Stoics, though, saw through that trap. Epictetus put it bluntly, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Clinging to outcomes is a one-way ticket to suffering, because results are never guaranteed. But your effort? That's always yours to command. Here's the Stoic secret. Fall in love with the process, the daily grind, the small steps, the act of showing up. Imagine a writer who cherishes each sentence they craft, not just the bestseller list, or a runner who savors every stride, not just the finish line. When you focus on the work itself, the learning, the building, the growing, you win every single day, no matter what the world throws back at you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason." That's the mindset. Pour your energy into what you do today, not what might happen tomorrow. The irony? When you let go of needing the outcome, you often achieve more. Why? Because you're not desperate, not chasing validation, not paralyzed by fear of failure. You're grounded in action, steady in purpose. Try this. Next time you're working toward a goal, shift your focus. Celebrate the effort, the early mornings, the late nights, the moments you pushed through doubt. That's where your power lies. When you master the process, you become free. Free from the anxiety of, what if, and the weight of, not enough. You become unstoppable, not because you always win, but because you always show up. What's one process you can fall in love with today? Share it in the comments. And let's keep this journey going. 2 more laws are coming to light the way. We've just learned to let go of outcomes and embrace the process, finding strength in the work itself. Now, let's take it further with 2 final Stoic laws that will ignite your urgency and anchor your soul to what truly matters. Ready to live with purpose and power? Let's dive in. Law number 7. Embrace death. Live with urgency and purpose. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, the wind whispering a truth you can't ignore. Your time is finite. Most of us live as if we have forever, pushing dreams to someday, wasting hours on mindless scrolling, or staying trapped in habits that dim our fire. But the Stoics? They stared death in the face and let it light a fire under them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." That's not morbid, it's a wake-up call. It's freedom. When you realize every moment is borrowed, you stop wasting it on things that don't matter. So, what are you waiting for? The Stoics practiced memento mori, Latin for, remember you will die. Not to be grim, but to stay sharp, to stay alive. Seneca hit the nail on the head. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Think about it. How many hours have you lost to distractions? How many dreams have you delayed because, later, felt safer? How many grudges have you held when forgiveness could set you free? The Stoics didn't wait for a perfect moment. They knew there's no guarantee of tomorrow. That risk you're avoiding, that project you're postponing, that person you need to forgive, those aren't just tasks. They're your life. And life doesn't wait. Picture this. You're on a tight deadline. Not for work, but for your existence. Every choice, every word, every action counts. When you embrace this, something shifts. You stop arguing over petty things. You stop chasing fleeting pleasures. You start creating, loving, and moving with purpose. The Stoic doesn't cowering from death, they lean into it, saying, "You won't catch me sleepwalking through my life." This mindset doesn't make you anxious, it makes you electric. You speak truthfully, love deeply, work with focus, and let go of ego because the ultimate failure isn't falling short, it's never trying. Live like you're on borrowed time. Because you are. Drop this in the comments to commit. I live with urgency and purpose. Law number 8. Be a warrior for virtue, not approval. Let's be real. We're all tempted by the glow of likes, praise, and validation. It feels good to be seen, to hear the applause, to know we're admired. But what if you lived for something deeper? Something no one could take away? The Stoics didn't chase the crowd's approval, they chased virtue. Marcus Aurelius said it best, just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. Imagine that. Doing what's right, not because it'll get you claps, but because it builds a soul that's unbreakable. That's the Stoic way, living with honor, even when no one's watching. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being principled. It's keeping your word, even when it costs you. It's speaking truth, even when it's unpopular. It's training hard, not for the spotlight, but for the pride of knowing you gave your all. Doing the right thing is rarely the easy thing. It's easier to bend the truth to fit in. It's easier to chase likes than to stand alone. But every time you choose the easy path over the right one, you chip away at your strength. The Stoic warrior chooses differently. They build a life rooted in integrity, where every decision aligns with who they want to be, not what the world expects. Picture yourself in a moment of choice. Do you take the shortcut that gets you praise? Or the harder path that builds your character? The Stoic picks the latter. Not for glory, but for the quiet power of knowing they're unshakable. In a world obsessed with external validation, this kind of inner strength is magnetic. It's rare. It's real. So, ask yourself, are you living for likes? Or are you living for virtue? Choose one act of integrity today, something small, something true, and watch how it shifts your energy. Share it in the comments. I choose virtue over approval. These 8 laws aren't just ideas, they're a blueprint for a life of strength, clarity, and freedom. Rewatch this video. Let these truths sink in, and start applying them today. Which law hit you hardest? Drop it in the comments. Share this with someone who needs it, and let's keep building an unstoppable life together. We've just embraced the call to live for virtue over applause, forging a soul that stands tall no matter who's watching. Now, let's wrap up this journey with a powerful conclusion that ties these Stoic laws together, urging you to step into a life of unshakable strength and purpose. Ready to become the warrior you were meant to be? Let's finish strong. Imagine a world where everyone's chasing likes, followers, and fleeting praise, bending over backward to fit in. Now picture yourself standing apart, unmoved, anchored in what's right, not what's popular. Every time you choose integrity over ease, you're sharpening a blade no one can dull. You're building an identity that can't be stripped away. Not by failure, not by loss, not by the crowd's fickle opinions. Seneca put it like a challenge. I will govern my life and thoughts as if the whole world were to see the one and read the other. That's not just a quote, it's a vow. It's living with such raw authenticity that your future self looks back with pride, not regret. In a world obsessed with image, the Stoic is real. In a sea of noise, they're the calm at the center. In an era of performance, they're the genuine heartbeat that others feel from a mile away. You want to be unstoppable? Stop chasing the spotlight and start living for your values. Imagine this. Everything, your status, your wealth, your followers, gone in an instant. Would you still stand tall? The Stoic would, because their strength isn't tied to what's outside them. It's rooted in who they are when no one's watching. That's the kind of power that draws people in, not because you sought their approval, but because you didn't need it. So, ask yourself, are you living for the crowd's cheers, or for the quiet certainty of doing what's right? Choose one act of virtue today. Tell the truth. Keep a promise. Do the hard thing, and feel the strength it builds. Drop this in the comments. I live for virtue, not applause. The Stoic path, your call to mastery. If you've made it this far, something inside you is stirring. You're not here for another feel-good video to play in the background. You're ready to evolve. The Stoic path isn't about perfection or dominating others. It's about mastering yourself. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus didn't write these laws for a cozy, predictable world. They wrote them for storms, wars, betrayals, plagues, and death. They wrote to teach us how to stand firm when life tries to knock us down. True strength isn't in muscles or money. It's in the person who keeps their word when it's easier to lie. It's in the soul who faces fear without flinching. Who does the right thing even when it hurts. That's you, right now, if you choose it. This journey we've taken through these 8 brutal Stoic laws, embracing discomfort, mastering emotions, letting go of fairness, focusing on what you control, choosing hardship, detaching from outcomes, living with urgency, and standing for virtue, isn't a one-time watch. It's a blueprint for a life of clarity and power. You don't need motivation to start. You don't need the perfect moment. You just need to act. Right now, train your mind like a warrior sharpens their sword. Expect struggle, because it's coming. Let go of outcomes, because they don't define you. Hold fast to your principles, because they do. Live like your time is running out, because it is. And the beauty of it all? You don't need anyone's applause. You don't need validation. When you walk this path, you become unshakable from within. And that kind of strength is rare. It's magnetic. It's yours. Picture yourself a year from now, living these laws. You're calmer in chaos, stronger in struggle, clearer in purpose. You're not perfect, but you're powerful. You're not chasing likes, you're chasing meaning. That's the Stoic promise. Not an easy life, but a life that matters. So, what's stopping you from starting today? Drop this affirmation in the comments to seal it. I am becoming unshakable day by day. If these laws lit a spark in you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs this wake-up call, and subscribe to join a community of thinkers and warriors who choose strength over noise. Purpose over distraction. Every moment of your life is training. Every choice is transformation. Don't skip a single step. Keep showing up, keep choosing strength, and don't stop until you're unstoppable.